Hi, and thank you for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Burden, an artist and your host for AZ Illustrated Arts. Tonight, we'll look at the work of a photographer who crosses borders to present images from both sides. We'll meet the filmmakers behind the new documentary, Two Americans. It examines the impact of U.S. immigration policy on the lives of two families. I'll talk with two young actresses starring in a musical version of the children's book, The Secret Garden. And we'll hear some Arizonans talk about the books they love. But first, today's top stories.
Unemployment in Arizona showed a slight tick upwards in January. The latest numbers from the state indicate that unemployment during the first month of 2013 crept up 0.1% to 8%. The national unemployment rate is at 7.7%. State officials are attributing some of the increase in Arizona's numbers to the loss of seasonal jobs in retail. The education sector also saw large losses in January, the largest since 2007. There was some good news in the unemployment report. Private non-sector farm jobs increased in January, as did the number of jobs in the government sector. A school district in southern Arizona is supporting a bill that would establish a performance funding system for public schools. Senate Bill 1444 would set up K-12 performance funding, and officials in the Vail School District say it's a good idea. Vail School District Superintendent Calvin Baker told the governor's office that Vail is generally regarded as well-funded, that despite the fact that Vail's per-pupil spending is about $1,000 below the average, and teachers in Vail are also receiving some of the lowest pay. Baker says the good news is Vail students and schools are highly ranked in the state. Senate Bill 1444 would give money to high-performing schools. And the U.S. 9th District Court of Appeals has reversed the conviction and death sentence of an Arizona woman convicted of murdering her son. In a 60-page ruling, the judges on the Ninth Circuit said prosecutors failed to disclose information about one of the detectives' history of misconduct. And that's a look at tonight's headlines.
A World Separated by Borders is the title of a new photography exhibition at the Arizona State Museum. The images reveal intimate details of the immigrant experience and of the borderlands. Photographer Alejandra Platt-Torres is from Mexico, but lives on both sides of the border. She says her photographs are an exploration of the human drama that is created by the artificial barrier that crosses the landscape.
A lot's been said about the border that separates Mexico from the United States. And here in the Sonoran Desert, what perhaps could be considered the epicenter of the contentious immigration debate of our time, there's no shortage of individuals with strong emotions about the border.
Since I was 7 years old, I came to Arizona, Nogales, Tucson, Phoenix with my family.
Alejandra Platt-Torres has some very personal emotions about the border. She's also a photographer. She has an exhibition at the Arizona State Museum titled A World Separated by Borders. She says the motivation for these images came from her own experiences living in a land separated by what she calls an arbitrary barrier.
I always come here in a very friendly way. You know, people from Sonora, we like to come to Arizona to shop, to have vacation and having fun, whatever. This is a migrant from South Mexico.
Platt-Torres says that her binational experiences as an inhabitant of this region led her to focus her camera on the border dynamic, on the stories that unfold throughout this landscape every day, but are sometimes hidden from view.
Right now I'm documenting. That's what I'm doing. I like portraits, but now I need to document more. Not only portraits, people. I need to document everything, you know, landscape, objects, people, I don't know, everything that is in front of me, I want to take a photograph on this project.
The photographs in this exhibition show both sides of this world separated by borders and the experiences of those that are trying to bridge the divide. And although the artist says that she is acting as a documentarian, the images reveal an artistic sensitivity to the subject matter. Platt-Torres says she often focuses the camera away from the faces of the migrants. And in her images, we see only the small details that hint at the trauma of these migrants. As viewers, we are allowed to imagine the stories.
And it's not about the specific person necessarily in the photograph. It would be, these are kind of representative of many, many people and the things that have happened to them.
Margaret Regan is the arts editor for the Tucson Weekly. She's also the guest curator for A World Separated by Borders.
And I'm also the author of a nonfiction book about the border called The Death of Jocelyn, Immigration Stories from the Arizona Borderlands. And I like the morgue photo.
Regan is familiar
also.
with the stories of death and suffering in the desert through her reporting. And she says the images in this exhibition provide a unique perspective of the migrant experience.
Alejandra's focus, as my focus was when I was doing all that reporting, is about the journey itself and the fact that we put these people through all these hoops, right? We make it very difficult to get across. We have made it dangerous to get across. And yet, if they get through all those hoops, we have welcomed their labor. And they're fine, you know, once they're here, okay, you know, go wash dishes at Panda Express. You know, or yeah, sure, you know, do my gardening for me or put a roof on my house. So I think, you know, Alejandra's contribution is that this very dangerous journey is still taking place.
Regan says the number of bodies found in the Arizona desert has decreased slightly over the past few years, but the numbers are still around 200 deaths per year, a number she likens to the catastrophe that would be experienced if a jetliner crashed in the desert.
We have a cataclysm like that taking place every year, but many of the deaths are anonymous, they're individual, they're scattered in the desert. We don't know who they are, we can't necessarily write their stories, and people aren't paying attention. You know, that's what Alejandra is doing. She is showing us what that journey is like.
This particular journey is depicted as cyclical in A World Separated by Borders. The migrants began in Mexico. They enter the U.S. in a gamble of life and death and return to Mexico separated from the life they've created in the north. This is a way of life that Platt-Torres knows firsthand.
My great-grandfather was a migrant in Mexico, and he stayed there. So our families, we are maybe 500 people from that family. And I understand that he didn't return to the United States anymore. He stayed in Mexico. So that's why we like Mexico, maybe. We love Mexico, or my family. And that was one of the reasons also that I decided to do this project. A World Separated by Borders, Un Mundo Separado por Fronteras.
A World Separated by Borders is on display at the Arizona State Museum. You can log on to azpm.org for more information and links.
We now move from still photographs to moving images, from a world separated by borders to two Americans whose lives are intertwined. Illegal immigration is on the national agenda, with both President Obama and Congress vowing to address immigration reform this year. In the debate, what is often forgotten is the impact of these policies on families, and that is the focus of the feature-length documentary, Two Americans. Joining me in the studio are the film's producers, Valeria, Fernández, and Daniel Vivo. A journalist for media outlets across the nations, Valeria Fernández has been reporting on Arizona's immigrant community and the many angles of the immigration debate for more than 10 years, producing in-depth features for print, radio, and television. Daniel Vivo believes that films are a powerful resource for popular education and cross-cultural exchange. He studied anthropology at Harvard and developed the skill set of a documentary filmmaker while living in New York City. His award-winning first film, Crossing Arizona, delved into the roots and consequences of Arizona's approach to illegal immigration. Thank you both for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So, who are the two Americans in the title, and how did you come to focus on them in this film?
Well, I'll talk about one of the Americans. Her name is Catherine Figueroa. She's a 9-year-old girl, and her mother and father are arrested while they're working at a car wash. They were working there for 15 years. Catherine is playing with her cousins at home. The TV is on. There's a sweep by Sheriff Joe Arpaio, and she finds out her parents are being arrested through the news. So Two Americans tells in part her story, the story of her struggle as a 9-year-old U.S. citizen trying to get her parents back. And the other American
is Joe Arpaio, Phoenix's own Sheriff Joe Arpaio of Maricopa County. And basically, in his part of the story, we focus on how a community is galvanized by his decision to target the Latino community. And so we kind of take it from, Joe decided to get more attention in the national spotlight when he decided to target immigrants. But as it turned out, it's turning out to be a little bit of his downfall. The community has responded, and they've made attempts to take him out of office now. In fact, there's a recall going on in Maricopa County, and they're going to attempt to remove the sheriff from office.
So how did you come to find the young woman? Was it just happenstance that you were there, or where did you find her as a protagonist?
Well, we were working in the community for a year, doing a lot of research, really focusing on what is the impact that the sweeps that the sheriff was conducting that could have on families and on communities. We visited a number of families. But the question came, what about the children? What is the experience like through the perspective of a small child that's trying to come to terms with what it means to have a parent that is undocumented, what it's like for them all of a sudden to be taken from work and put into jail. And so through connections that we have in the community, Lydia Guzman, who is someone from a watch group called Respect Respeto, told me about Catherine, and we went to pay her a visit. And it was almost immediately clear that we had to tell her story. She was so articulate. She was pleading for President Obama to bring her parents back home. And it was just a straight punch to your heart that we felt people needed to hear. Because up until that point, it wasn't common for the families and for the children to be in the media, to be in the spotlight telling their story, because there's this fear about the consequences. What if the sheriff comes back to your home looking for the rest of the family? What if there is some sort of a retaliation for speaking out? So there's a lot at stake for the families, and it took a lot of courage for them to say, it's okay, we're gonna open up the doors of our home, and we're gonna let our little daughter spend time with you and convey this situation through the perspective of a small child.
In the process of making the film, what surprised you most?
Oh, wow. I think for me it was the resiliency of people, how they were empowered by what was going on. And you have ordinary people all of a sudden saying, no, we have to stand up for our rights. We need to speak out, and we need to tell our story because we want to make a difference. So it's the resiliency of the community, the ordinary people coming together and trying to do something, and the solidarity coming from different places. Oftentimes we talk about the divisiveness of the debate here in Arizona. But while filming Two Americans, we realized there's also a lot of compassion, empathy, and solidarity coming from members of all the communities.
How has the film been received thus far by audiences, Daniel?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, we've had a chance to show it at film festivals throughout Arizona. We've had a chance to show it at Harkins Theaters in Phoenix. We showed that up right before the election, and the sheriff was actually up for election. We showed it in Scottsdale, and we had people coming out of the woodworks. They read about it in the press, and they wanted to see their sheriff on the big screen. And so I think if you're a fan of the sheriff, you come and see the film, there's something in it for you. If you're not a fan of the sheriff, you come and see the film, there's also something very much in it for you. So far, the people are tending to think it's quite balanced, and we're very happy with the time that the sheriff has given us to document his work, and we think it's turned out really well.
So we only have about 30 seconds left, but quickly, why a documentary versus writing an article? Because I know you also work in print, Valeria.
Because a documentary offers the chance to people to really enter inside the homes of these immigrant families, to see them face to face, to get to realize that they're workers, that they go to church, they have hopes for a better life, and also allows you to go inside the sheriff's office and really get to know the man behind the controversial political figure.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. Two Americans will be shown at the Loft Cinema starting Friday, March 22nd. Valeria, Fernández, and Daniel de Vivo will be there opening night for a Q&A following the screening.
Xi Jinping assumed the presidency of China today. He now controls the army, the Communist Party, and the state in the world's second largest economy.
We assess what the change means for China and the United States and the biggest issues between them: trade, defense, and cybersecurity.
Then, as Pope Francis embarks on his first full day as pontiff, we examine his roots in Argentina.
Margaret Warner talks to Michigan Governor Rick Snyder after he recommended an emergency manager to take over the finances of the troubled city of Detroit.
Spencer Michaels has the story of the high-tech splash of lights transforming San Francisco's Bay Bridge into a work of art.
And Ray Suarez looks at life in Japan 2 years after the devastation caused by the tsunami and nuclear disaster.
And that's all ahead on tonight's NewsHour.
Defendants who can't pay are provided with lawyers, who in turn often have overwhelming caseloads.
There are a lot of stories of what are called meet 'em and plead 'em lawyers who show up at the courthouse for about 5 minutes where they tell the client, you have to plead guilty.
I'm Renee Montaigne, the 50th anniversary of the right to a lawyer, on the next morning edition from NPR News.
Christian Youth Theater is an after-school theater arts training program for students ages 16 to 18. It was founded in 1981 in San Diego and has since grown to become the largest youth theater group in the nation. The Tucson branch of CYT is known for staging ambitious productions like Les Mis and Seussical, shows that demand a high level of professionalism from the young performers and crew. Their current production is a musical adaptation of the classic children's book, The Secret Garden. We're joined in the studio by Lauryn Wallentine, who portrays Mary Lennox. This is Lauryn's 9th CYT production. She has also played young Cosette in Les Mis and Amaryllis in The Music Man. Also with us is Sara Sanderson, who plays Martha. Sara has also been in several CYT shows, appearing as Belle in Beauty and the Beast and as Sister in Pocahontas. Thank you both for joining us today.
Of course.
First question I have for you is, why do you choose to be a part of the Christian Youth Theater when there are so many other activities that you could do?
Well, I think the environment is really nice. I mean, ever since I've joined, it's just a place to go with lots of nice people. It's welcoming, and it's like a second home to most of us that go there.
How about you, Lauryn?
It's mostly a family to me because, like, I have so many friends there, and I don't have many friends at school, so it's practically a family.
So, Sara, I understand that you plan to pursue a career in the performing arts. How did being a part of CYT contribute to your decision to go into that field?
Well, it started me off. I mean, it's how I first got into loving musicals and loving singing, and I wouldn't be anywhere, if I didn't decide to join CYT. And so it's really just like rocketed me into what I love to do now, and it's been great. So.
Tell us a little bit about your roles and characters that you portray in the play.
Well, I am Martha. I am a chambermaiden at the house that Mary lives in, and I kind of look after her, and I become very bonded to her, even though she comes in kind of with a little bit of attitude. But yeah, we become really close throughout the entire play, and I think Martha's affected by Mary a lot, and Mary practically has a huge impact on everybody that lives in the house, and it's,
So you're the main character?
Yes, I am Mary Lennox, and she is mostly a brat at first, but I think it's because she has seen death throughout her whole life, and now when she sees so many people who are alive in her, it brings the whole story to life, and it shows her how to make friends, how to be nice to people, and how to love.
So how did you prepare to play characters from the early 1900s?
Well, the costumes mostly helped us because they're so unique to be from back then, and they're so pretty. And also because since I have to be British and she has to be Yorkshire, it helped a lot. Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, I mean, I have to have a different accent, and just being in the costumes and having that different persona, I mean,
How difficult was it to do the accent, to pick up the accent?
It's very difficult, but now that I think I have it mostly, it's really fun, just being something completely different and having a good time with it.
We're going to get to hear you both a little bit later in the program perform, so
Yeah.
we'll get to hear those accents. Let me ask you, what did you find most intriguing or interesting about the story?
Well, I think that even though it's, you know, old and it's back in this time that we don't live in today, it's still very applicable to us. And it's this love story that's just fantastic, and just the way that she, you know, has an effect on everybody there and how she changes their lives and their viewpoints. It's incredible.
What other themes do you think The Secret Garden has for audiences young and old today?
Well, for the young, it shows them how to be like active, because Mary Lennox, she's always so pale and so still, and when she like realizes that she doesn't have to be that, she goes out and plays in the garden, and she gets to meet new friends, and yeah.
What did the two of you do to learn your lines? And how hard was it to learn them?
Because it's a period piece, you have to say your lines pretty exact, because if you don't, it doesn't make much sense. So just running them over and over, repetition helps me. I mean, I don't know about you, but...
Well, my mom and I usually go into her bedroom, and we usually practice our lines there, and whenever I mess up, she gives me pointers and everything. She's been a big help throughout this whole play.
What would you suggest to others young people who might be watching the show and might be interested in theater but haven't had a chance to get engaged yet or get involved with it? What suggestions would you give to them?
I think they should definitely go for it. I mean, even if you don't plan on pursuing it, it helps kids just break out and be, you know, the better version of themselves. I mean, I think theater and the arts in general can do that for children.
Are there specific skills that you think that you've gained from being a part of the organization?
Well, I've gained many things. Like, I've learned how to fake cry throughout the whole play.
I want to ask you to do it. Okay.
But I've learned a lot through CYT, and it's been really fun.
How about you, Sarah?
It gives you general stage direction too. I mean, when I first joined, you know, I had no idea what you're supposed to do on stage, and it definitely gives you that, and it gives you the freedom to be somebody new, and that's just, it's something you don't get to do every day.
I want to thank you both for joining us, and again, we'll see you perform a scene from the play here in just a few minutes in the show. Christian Youth Theater presents 4 performances of The Secret Garden at Pima Community College this weekend, March 15th through the 17th. More information about the show is online at azpm.org. Arizona Public Media is a media sponsor of the annual Tucson Festival of Books. Last weekend's event gave us a chance to talk to some people about the books that have moved, thrilled, and inspired them the most. Here is A Book I Love.
I'm Jenny. I've been in Tucson for 30 years. The book I love is called The Snow Leopard by Peter Matheson. This is a wonderful travel book. He's so detailed about the kind of flowers that he's passing, his observation about the people around him, and the sheer adventure of trying to find a snow leopard makes this one of my favorite books. Also, he has a kind of Zen philosophy that infuses the pages and makes you at least give pause for thought.
Hi, my name is Dalal. I'm a senior at Catalina Foothills High School, and I will be attending the U of A next year. One of my favorite books would have to be As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. And I think why is because just the way he wrote it is completely different than most novels that I've read. It's very stream of consciousness. It jumps from one character to another, and it gives you insight on all of them instead of just having one character be the major narrator of the whole novel, which I thought was great.
I'm Shane, and I'm a graduate student from the University of Arizona. So one of my favorite books is The Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. It's a great story about a youth who is sort of discovering himself, and it's one of the things that I think is her characters are so rich and full of actual real life problems, and it makes you understand as a youth that things matter and that there isn't always necessarily the perfect good guy. And sometimes being the good guy is just doing the best that you can. You don't have to save the world, you just have to get on and try to do the best you can in the world.
My name is Marjorie Miller. I'm a 4th grade teacher in Tucson Unified School District. I love the story of the 3 little kittens, retold and illustrated by Jerry Pinkney, my favorite author illustrator. And I love it because I've always loved the story, but he brings it to life with his amazing watercolor illustrations. My 3-year-old granddaughter loves the story. We loved it so much that when we got done with it, we went off to the store to find some blackberries to make a blackberry pie.
My name is Brian Vandervoot, and I'm a resident of Tubac, Arizona. There's no one book that I can really single out. A major influence on my life was Dr. Lawrence Clark Powell. I began reading many of his books, and from there I became a converted bibliophile to the point that now I read with elementary school children. I read all the books I can find.
My name is Emma and I'm 4 years old. My favorite book is the Animal Encyclopedia because it has animals.
Here now is a scene from Christian Youth Theater's production of The Secret Garden. Sarah Sanderson plays maidservant Martha, and Lauryn Wallentine plays Mary, an orphan from India. This is how the 2 characters first meet.
My mother asked me, lassie, tell me what your lad mun do before he gives his heart away and makes a nest and all the rest. I told my darling mother there's something he mun do, but I'll say first how he mun look. His eyes, they mun be true.
Are you my servant?
Well then, Mary Lennox, my name is Martha. And now thou'rt up, I'll make the bed.
But aren't you going to dress me first?
Can't I dress thyself then?
In India, my ayah dressed me.
Well, to do you good to wait on thyself a bit. 'Tis a fair wonder grandfolks' children don't turn out fair fools, being washed and took out to walk like they was puppies.
What is that language you speak?
Well, of course, you're not heard any Yorkshire and living in India, have ye? Mrs. Medlock said I'd have to be careful, or you wouldn't understand what I was saying. But I didn't know what to expect from you either. When I heard you was coming from Bombay, I thought you'd be a solid brown, I did. But you're not brown at all. More yellow, I'd say. Aye. Now, lassie, I didn't know you'd be so easily vexed. I'll help you on with your clothes this time if you like. You just pretend you're back in India, and I'm your servant, and you just give me that little yellow foot.
I'm quite all right. Thank you.
Look there. Out the window. It's the moor it is, like a dull purple sea this morning. Do you like it?
I hate it.
Well, you just wait till spring then. The moor's fair covered in gorse and heather, and there's such a lot of fresh air. My brother Dickon goes out to the moor and plays for hours. He's even got a pony that made friends with him, and birds and sheep as such as eat right out of his hands.
These are not my clothes.
I missed your uncle.
These are nicer than mine.
Well, you get these new clothes on then, and you run out to play. That'll give you stomach for your porridge.
Mrs. Medlock told me there's nothing out there but a big old park.
Well, maybe you'll run into our Dickon out there. Maybe he'll give you a ride on his pony. Maybe he'll even...
I don't know anything about boys.
That's our show for tonight. To post a comment on any of these stories or keep up with the latest news, visit our website, azpm.org. I'm Elizabeth Burden. Thank you for watching.